country's not doing well, but I think that this is also our opportunity as a movement to level
up. They did
back
to back. That's crazy.
And fill that void, that vacuum, with our own vision. Individual, family, nation, God. When I talk to young people about this, they're more interested in that than they are in race, gender, sexuality, and climate. And so now we got to start running to something as Americans, and if we do, I'm confident that our country will be doing well again. That's where I'm at.
Is it my imagination, or are people who weren't raised in traditional religious households, who haven't spent a lot of time thinking about theology, all of a sudden talking about God a lot? Do you notice that?
I do notice that, actually, and I think this is a good sign because there's an old expression, right? If there's a hole the size of God in your heart and God does not fill it, something else will instead.
Yep.
That's what's happened in the last decade in our country.
If you want empirical evidence about the Bible, in a way, the Bible has this claim about humanity, right? Whether you're atheist, whatever, hear the claim out. The Bible says that if you don't serve him, you'll serve something else. Something else will become your master. Either it's money, your lust, or your vice, whatever it is. You'll be a master to something. All right? And this is the point of like higher principles. Like what is something that we're striving for? Right? Because if you're not striving for anything higher than yourself, then it's yourself that you worship. It's almost a slight form of narcissism and self-centeredness. And I think that's what's going on in our country today, in our culture today. Like everything's about me, 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 me. What you can do for me. This is why politics has become a game of bribery. Oh, no detention for the rest of the year. Yay! Make me class president. This is how our politics has become in our society. But I digress. Let's continue.
Something else. Some secular religion has filled that void. But it hasn't really satisfied our moral hunger, right? And so that's that effect is fading. And I think people are hungry to turn back to the real thing. The conversation's coming up, but they say it with a kind of prudishness.
Yes.
Right? God is a four-letter word. It's sort of a thing you have to tiptoe around. And I think that right now, family's the same way. The nuclear family makes some people uncomfortable when I say it, but actually this is the best known form of governance to mankind. And so if we start talking more about, hey, that's what we're running to. That's actually what we stand for. Yes, we are one nation. I'm a citizen of this nation, not some nebulous global citizen somewhere else. That it is one nation under God. Yes, it is a nation that is stronger when we ground ourselves in the unit of the family. Then I notice something happens, especially for younger people across the country, Tucker, is they're more open to that message than they thought, but they need someone to serve it up to them. And I think I'm the first non-politician, but I'm also a younger person in this race. I don't have a ton of experience.
Hey, man, and that's why we like one thing about like young people, and I noticed that is that the younger you are, you know how they say naivety breeds idealism. Like you're very idealistic about things, right? And if there's not an idea that you can like strive for and get behind, this is how these climate changers get the youth into all this climate change madness. Is because the youth are looking for something to be a part of. They want to be a part of some bigger picture, and the climate change gives them that sort of purpose, right? It's a lack of purpose that's really killing our society today. And I think it's the fact that we don't transmit any moral values in our education system, and it's more based on some secular, self-centered worldview. And I think that's what's going on, right? We caught up in this materialism that, hey, just the best thing, because I think there was a poll out there that the most important thing that Democrats and Republicans both agree on was economic, monetary, material success. That's the only thing that Democrats and Republicans agree on. And I think that's a failing on our culture as a society. But I digress. Let's get back into the video, because this is the main event.
Running governments before. But I think in reaching younger people, that's something I feel called to do in this race, and it's why we're traveling college campuses across this country, and I am optimistic about what I see.
Well, since you are a younger person and spend time with them, we saw yesterday that a group of reservists has been called up to Europe, apparently, to prepare for war with Russia. Of people in the age cohort who might plausibly be called up to do that, what's the response?
I think there is no basis for us to send our young men and women our sons and daughters, people my age or any age, to go defend somebody else's border halfway around the world when we should be using our own military to secure our own border in this country. And I will not apologize for that.
That's a clip. Hey, look, clip it. That's it. That's it. He won the crowd. I'm messing around, guys. I'm being biased here. Obviously, I like what he's saying here. And I think that's been the most important thing. How can you go out and claim how to fix someone else's house without addressing your house here? Right? That right? Even in the airplane, before you can help your child, you must first help yourself. Because if you only help your child, but you don't help yourself and you die, you leave your kid helpless. And that's what America is doing to itself. It's the only country strong enough to actually defend Ukraine, right? That's not China and India or whatever, or these other powers. America's the only country willing to go defend someone else's border. But if America doesn't take care of itself and America loses itself to itself, Ukraine's going to be a sitting duck anyway. And this is the point I'm saying. I think like Americans, we need a more populist candidate in office. That's just my view. Whether it's RFK, I need a populist because we need someone to take America's interest first. And regardless if we don't agree with their solution or not, I think that's the guiding principles that Americans in general, whether you're an independent, a Democrat, or a Republican, that's what we should be voting for. And I think Vivek's the guy. That's just my case. That's just my thing.
We have to put the interests of this country first. And one of the things that does frustrate me, Tucker, is that this is one issue where I so love many of the other people who are running for this nomination for president. I think most of us and the entire field I speak for are in this for the right reasons. We are people who care about our country and want to deliver our country to a better place. But on this issue, nearly our entire field is indistinguishable in practice from where Biden is on this, which is in an undefined, ill-defined way pouring more money into a war that I think is destined to become Vietnam or Iraq all over again.
Damn.
And if you don't learn from the lessons of the past, you're going to be making the same mistakes on an even larger scale going forward. We have to end this war. We can end this war and start prioritizing the interests of actual U.S. citizens here at home.
So I think, judging by the response you just got, I think a chunk of, I don't know what percentage, but a lot of Republican primary voters agree with you. Not all, but a lot. I don't think any Republican donors agree with you.
I think that's accurate. And I've lost, to be really honest with you, I've lost many large donors or prospective donors over this issue.
This is the biggest problem in politics. I'm going to just say it right here. The donor class, my goodness. I never realized how much influence donors have over the party, the committees, how the party operates. It's insane, right? And this is the establishment politics I'm talking about. It's like the populace say, hey, we want change. So the way that the things are is not working. But the way things are benefits a certain amount of people that's already in power, right? The donor class, they already have influence. They already have power. They're more incentivized to keep everything the same, while we're incentivized to change it because it's not really working for us. And I think, I don't know, I think we need in my view, we need our version of George Soros. Like, we need a conservative donor that's like, nah, like my principles over politics. It's like, yo, my principles, and they put their money where their principles are. And I think that's what we need. A donor. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Elon Musk, but I think we need someone who's willing to put their money where their mouth is as a donor to help drive incentives for the structure, the political machine to move towards a direction that's actually beneficial to America. But I digress.
And it puzzles me because I think the tempting thing to say is to have some conspiratorial explanation that they have money at stake in government contractors, Raytheon or whatever. I don't think that's true, actually. I think there's something else going on in the psychology of an establishment in both the Republican Party and the Democrat Party that is reluctant to the idea that we somehow can't be the ones fighting the war that's the popular war of the day, the politically correct war. I think there's no such thing as a politically correct war. And so what I ask is, how are we actually going to end this conflict in a way that advances U.S. interests? And the thing that puzzles me, Tucker, is nobody in either party is talking about this right now. The Russia-China alliance is the single greatest threat that the U.S. actually faces today. And we are pushing Russia closer into China's arms by actually continuing to arm Ukraine. So what I've said is that I would negotiate a deal that ends the Ukraine war, frees the current lines of control.
Here's the argument that, and I know I keep pausing it. I let it play. I don't want to get copyrighted, but the whole point of foreign policy is that, hey, we don't want war, right? All the anti-war people, we should be trying to create a circumstances or create an incentive where both sides it'll be in both sides' interest to end the war soon, right? But if Russia's seeing us helping out Ukraine, you're incentivizing Russian to say, oh, I gotta seek help too because it's 2-on-1, right? If you see two people picking on one person, there's an incentive that, oh, let me help out this other person. The other person will be in my debt if I help out. This is basic strategy. So if you don't want the war to happen, oh, we don't want the war to escalate. We don't want to, okay, create a situation and say, hey, Russia, stop attacking Ukraine. Right? Or we're going to get personally involved. You create a framework, say, hey, I'm going to be the bad guy. Zelensky didn't want it to happen, right? And Mike Pence disagrees with this stance because he thinks, oh, we're going to give up the Donbass region and all this stuff. But who cares? The country is safe. People stop dying, right? Trump. And war is gone. We don't have to risk our kids' lives for them to get a possible draft and sent to war. The war ends. It's like people don't understand trade-off. They think they can be like all or nothing. If you do an all or nothing, like you're only going to escalate. Oh, you got to give us back the Donbass region and then you go back to Russia. No, that's not going to happen. He already got it. He already took over. So now, I don't know. I don't see no way how continuing to fuel the flames of war by continuing equipping Ukraine with weapons is going to de-escalate the war. I see no path to that. But, I digress. Let's see how Vivek handles this.
Yes, that means giving part of the Donbass region to Russia. I would make a hard commitment that NATO never admits Ukraine to NATO. And those seem like unspeakable words in certainly the Republican donor class. But we get something greater in return, which is that Putin, in that case, would have to exit his military partnership with China and remove nuclear weapons from Kaliningrad, which border Poland, and get the Russian military out of Cuba and Venezuela and the West. And this is a deal that Putin should do because he ends up winning. He gets things that he doesn't have today. But it secures American interests, too. And I do think in a weird way, it does take an outsider to get that job done.
And the funny part is that if you're a globalist, I can see why you would want the war to continue because at the end of the day, you see, oh, they're part of our world order. They're part of our organization. So we should be fighting to protect them. But if you look at it from a nationalist, populist view, you say, hey, America got nothing to do with it. American lives shouldn't be going into that war and American money should not be going into that war, especially not for nothing. Right? What we got back in return? Oh, Ukraine love us. Ukrainians love us. That's all we got? We got nothing tangible for actually helping Ukraine. And this is a nationalist point of view about politics. Just based on perspective. Where you are you think we're all citizens of the world? Oh, now you understand why the Democrats will have Ukraine flags on their bio, but they can't have an American flag on their bio because they're citizens of the world instead of being citizens of their country. And it's a loyalty question, I think, is the biggest problem we have in politics. Is loyalty. Who are you loyal to? To yourself? Your interest group? ESG, your donor class, war corporations, the pharmacists, or you're loyal to the American people. That's a populist. And if you're loyal to the people, that instantly makes you a populist. Anti-establishment by default. But yeah, I digress.
Because if you want someone to fix a problem, you don't turn over the keys to somebody who actually broke the thing in the first place. If you want to fix it, maybe have somebody who didn't break it in the first place. And
that's a good analogy.
Part of why I'm in this race as an outsider.
Okay. Well, since you're getting radical now, let's go through a list of all the other things you're not allowed to say. So you've just said, you're not attacking anybody, but this doesn't seem to be helping us. In fact, it seems to be creating an alliance that we can't beat, and really, it's pretty scary.
Yeah.
So let's just go through the list. Another thing you can't say is that maybe January 6th, while appalling on one level, maybe it was not an insurrection.
So let me talk about, I haven't talked about this much in the campaign. I'll be very honest with you. You want to know what caused January 6th? There's such a temptation to say that there's one man whose name is unspeakable. We can't.
No, first of all, it's
put it on the foot
QAnon.
of.
It's QAnon.
It's QAnon. You want to know what caused January 6th? Is pervasive censorship in this country in the lead up to January 6th.
I agree.
You tell people in this country they cannot speak. That is when they scream.
Okay.
You tell people they cannot scream.
Real.
That is when they tear things down. And
That's
so the
real.
reality is, we were told that you could not question where the virus came from when we all knew it came from a lab in Wuhan, which now they admit. We were told that you could not send a private message to someone on the eve of an election that Hunter Biden's laptop story was
I can't
actually
pause
a
it,
true
man.
story worth
Let him
considering
go. Let him
before
go.
an election. You were systematically suppressed. So think about this. You told you had to be locked down, had to take a vaccine that was mandated and forced down your throat, stay locked down in your home while Antifa and BLM roam and burn the streets of this country. So that's the lead up of one full year of
Hypocrisy.
telling people you
Selective
have to shut up, sit down,
application of
and
the
do
law.
as you're told. And then you tell them, okay, there's an election where you didn't get the information that you needed, such as the Hunter Biden laptop story being real and suppressed. That's what caused January 6th, is a cycle of censorship in this country. And until we look ourselves in the mirror and admit truth on that, we will not move forward as a country. And I think that's the real cause. And we're not, and I'm sorry to say this, Tucker, but I think until we reckon with that reality, I worry that is the beginning of, it's a friendly parley compared to what's to come, unless we step up and speak truth, restore integrity, and actually lead us to who we are as a people, rather than sweeping the truth under the rug.
Sheesh. Damn. Hey. At the end of the stream, I'm gonna ask a question. Who's gonna win the most out of this town hall, out of this summit? Vivek, man. Hey, look, Ron DeSantis. If Ron DeSantis doesn't match this, bruh, he's gonna get hit in the polls again. Yo, Vivek's coming out swinging, man. He's going where other candidates are scared to go, and that sets a trend. People gonna be asking, "Hey, Ron, what you think about January 6th now?" Right? Vivek's doing his job, bruh. He's making people talk about him. This is why he's third place. My prediction, I have not to brag, but I ping him as the GOP dark horse. Hey, he's the sleeper. He's my sleeper pick. He could come out and be the new number 2. This is why. I'm done fangirling over here, but let's continue.